So you know UL has LIs automatically. An unordered list has items. A list has items. So the list, even if you go like shopping, you get a list. It's a piece of paper, the list. And within that piece of paper, what? So these are naming conventions. I mean, these are giving a name. When you're naming your document, you have to develop a naming convention. Like the name has to mean something. Like when you go to CSS, it makes sense if someone comes and like review your code, you're gonna know it makes sense. Like my list, or if you're doing like a website about prices, my prices list. So these are naming conventions that have to make sense. You can name them any, you give it any name. The only condition, it has to be the same name that you have in CSS file. Okay. So what's the difference between a class and ID?
Class is like a variable. It can go anywhere. Whenever you have, it doesn't have like the ID goes to those unique. With the class, you can put more than one.
Yeah, and in a class, an ID is used like an identifier. His identity is unique. So the class in your document here, you can name many elements with the same class. Yeah, each one, and we can give like the image that we can give it the same class here. If you want to target it, like you take this class, Command C, then you can give it to this image too here, Command V. Okay, so with one class you can target many elements, and you style them. If you want this H1 and this H2 and this H3 to have the same thing, you give them the same style. Okay, so and when you go up to the CSS, what do we put in front of our? So we said ID is preceded by a hashtag or a pound, and the class is preceded by a dot. So always remember, an ID, always when you want to go to your CSS document, this is called the rule. The entire thing, this one is a rule. CSS is like a bunch of rules. All the CSS is a rules that manipulate the document, styles it. And when you write these rules, you have an ID, you write hashtag, then the name of the ID, open curly brace, write the name, the property. Here you can say background, you can say, what else we can have here? Margin, padding, color.
No, color. My list, you can't have color.
In my list, but I mean, as a property, you can have it.
You do LI,
Yeah, but the color, the CSS properties. I'll write a list now. I'll write a list of. Then you write your property and you give it a value, and this is a declaration.
Yes, sir.
It's a property name, then a value. Color black, width 200 pixels. Okay, height 600. So this is a height, color, width, background color. All right. So our class is named. What did we name our class? Here, my class.
My H2.
My H2.
So is that conventional? What is H2 stand?
Just a name. I chose to name it H2.
Because you said you could use some names that are conventional, but if another code writer came in, they would know.
Yeah, what I mean by that, like, is naming conventions. Like, a name, has to make sense.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
I mean, because here we're talking about in H2, and I called it. This is my H2.
Oh,
okay, it can be anything. You can name it anything. Like, so let's change the fonts. So here, when you in the it gives you like a hint.
Yes.
When I wrote font, give me font. It is a font family. You're rarely going to use this. You're rarely going to use this. You use this font size, font stretch. These are a little advanced things that you use for multiple browsers, but we're going to go through those. So we're going to see just font size. So what's the font size? we talked about 2 units of measurement. You remember?
Yes.
Size.
Yeah.
What are they? 2 units of measurement in the web. There are others, but
Pixels and EM.
pixels and EMs, and there is a percentage too, like you say, 100%, 20%, 50%. Okay, but the I'd prefer in the font size you do like the EM because when you do responsive design, it's just good. Yeah, so EM or like let's say 2 EM, and then we end our declaration with the semicolon, right? So this one is called a selector. It's a class, yeah, it's a class, but in CSS speak it's a selector. Why? Because it goes to the document and selects an element, brings it to us, and then we style it. Okay, so selector, property, value, the rule, and this is a declaration. So let's command S. Well, let's find this in the document about me. So here. So we're targeting this one, right? You remember in the document, H2 class my H2 about me. Yes, this is the element we're targeting. Okay, it has the tag, opening tag. Then we're other text and we close the text and we target this. We want this to be a bigger size than this. Let's refresh. See, it kind of bumped up a little bit. Let me just make something which yeah, let's make it like 4 EM. Okay, this command S. So we're targeting exactly this. This document speaking to this. Let's refresh here. See, it becomes so big. Okay, that's too big for. Let's just bring it to 3.
Can you do 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5 would be reasonable. Like 2.5. Okay. Command S and refresh. 2.5 is pretty much the default browser styling. And then, so if you want to give it a color of, as I said, like CSS rules, I'm gonna get down here. If we want to give it a color of red, what would be the declaration?
Color equal red.
Color, not equal.
I mean, column.
Colon?
Is this same
Color, colon, then well, let's say red. Okay. Okay, it just give you hints here. Enter, and then we end our with a this one there. Semicolon. Then command S, then refresh. What happened? Color red. I think I didn't save.
You have to do semicolon between both of them, or do comma?
This is weird. I don't know what didn't work.
Does it have to do with space between R and column?
No. Something is weird happening here. The our declaration is font size 2.5 M, color red. Okay, we're targeting this color red.
Command S or Control S?
Command S in the Mac. This is weird. I mean, this is something like exceptional happening here. Okay, let's see here. Let's change this. Okay, let's say here 3. Okay, Command S. See, it communicates with it, right?
Yes.
How about color?
على color ما تستخدمش.
No, it has to do it, man. Color, let's say this. Okay, like Command S, refresh. I don't know what's going on here.
واش رشيد between font size and color خصها تكون semicolon.
No, here.
Between 3.5 EM.
Oh, this one right. Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. That's the problem. Yeah, it's gonna work now. Because it's weird. I didn't see that.
No,
Well, my is color.
It's between 3.5 EM. انت درتي سيمي كولن ستكون كولن ولا سيمي كولن؟
Where are you talking about?
شي فونت سايز كاينه كولن 3.5 EM وكاينه سيمي كولن هذيك اللي في هذيك.
Yeah, that has to be there. Yeah.
اه
You see, it reads the color. And well, let me just do. Maybe there is a rule down there of writing it. In case of this, I'm going to do important.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
See when I added important, because there is a rule down somewhere there. And there is a rule like in CSS because it's cascading. The last, maybe we wrote some rule down there. If you put, it's a style, cascading style. The last rule that that wins. If you put color, for instance, if I put here in the same line, if I put color yellow, it's the color yellow that. And if you have that issue, sometimes you come to a website and there is a code somewhere you don't know, and you want that rule. So one of the things you do, you tell the browser, I want this rule through adding this important.
And this happens only for class. It won't happen for ID.
No, it's not class. I have a lot of rules here. There is a rule that says that should be blue, and it's last. Okay, it's last. So to override it, you just add important, and then it overrides this. Okay, but because this is a mess, I don't have a lot of real estate here. Let me see here. There must be something here. Okay, border. Anyway, I like this color here. So what's the name of the color? Yeah, antique white. Yeah, antique white. So the names here, like the names. Yeah, but it's a good color. Looking color.
Antique.
Yeah. Yeah, but there is antique white, or you do the naming through hex codes. The colors, I do names now because I don't want to confuse you with the numbers.
Yeah.
There is hex codes of the colors. For instance, if we put like the black is with 3 zeros. If you command S, refresh, you can have a black. And the white, yeah, like FF 3 times or 6 times. I do it just like 3 times. Here is going to change. White. Okay, when you go to, like, if you want to this, because you're not going to remember this. I don't know a lot. I know pretty much the measure color, but it's easy. Just go online. There is hex code, HTML hex color or hex code colors, and it's going to give you palettes. It calls palettes, colors. Because when you're designing, we're going to come up later. When you design, you have to, you're not going to make a sloppy, like a green and, I don't know, some kind of weird colors. It should be like smooth, and it should match your brand. Black, darker, and gray. It's very simple. So this has to do with color scheme. So hex, if you Google hex colors, hexadecimal, the long term.
I just put HTML color code.
Yeah, color code is going to give you, or hex codes, or Google will understand a lot of stuff. Okay, so we were going through like classes and IDs. Why I'm saying this, because this is very important. Like, what I want you to take away from this is you target an element. Okay, there is a number of ways. Among these ways, we have classes. You can target many classes, many elements with the same class and give them, like for instance, I have an h1, give it a class of my friend. You have a paragraph, give it a class of the same class. This is my friend too. You have an h2 tag, this is my friend too. So you want to give all these same color, so give them the same class. You want to give them the same size, give them this. So you can target a group of elements with the same class. So that not to be repetitive. You're going to say page color white, h1 color white, div color white. That's in coding speak, like don't be dry. I mean, you have to be dry. Don't. D stands for do not. R stands for repeat, and Y stands yourself. Dry. In coding, there is this dry principle. Do not repeat yourself, because this has to do with the latency of. This is when you go www.apple.com, then the website comes up right quick. Okay, so there's a lot of elements that play into the latency. This latency, how late that thing loads. A lot of, if you have large images, we're gonna see images. Don't upload large images. There is a way to optimize them, minimize their size. And if you write a lot of code, this code is you ask the browser. So if you write if you have for instance 3 rules, an h1 tag, a p tag, and a h3 tag, you want to color them like black, or black is default, you want to color them blue. So if you write h1 color blue, paragraph color blue, you're sending the browser 3 times. You remember, if you can visualize this, browser go to the rule, oh, this black, then and then go. So if you tell him, hey, I want this element to be green, so you send him 1 time. That's contribute to the latency, how late your web, your page, and this has to do with Google search engine too. If it's late, Google, the bots, they just kind of feed up and they won't come back to. Well, but that's something advanced. You're gonna look into that once we wrap our heads around these concepts.
Is there any space problem there too, or just like
HTML and CSS, there is no space.
No, I'm talking about sometimes you work with 5 gig or something. That makes the process slow. So here is just coding. Like you said, if you wanna for example style something, just use a class. But there is nothing had to do with the space. If you have like 1,000 rows,
yeah,
that won't do any change.
Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. When we're talking images, we're talking about their size.
Size too. Okay.
Okay, so we the rationale behind knowing how to target an element. So the document, when you're writing HTML, they have doc type, this and that. You have an element, then you built your website right there, HTML. Then you want to style it, you want to look good. If you want to style it, you have to know how to target each element. You tell the browser, go to that left far, put it on the right, make it green, push it a little bit up and right. You can target the minute things with 1 pixel, half pixel, when you come to positioning, absolute, relative. So if you know how to do this, you know the web. You're gonna be building the templates. There's templates you go online and buy 40, 50. This is what they use. Nothing else. CSS, HTML, and some JavaScript when you see something flying and stuff. That's all they use. There is no Japanese or Chinese there. Very simple things. It might sound complicated, but it's very simple. If you just think of it simple, you're gonna just wrap your head around it.
So what is the most efficient way to style a web? Is it to use class, or what do you see out there?
Well, now we're learning. You have in your tool kit classes.
Classes seems
IDs in a website, maybe you're gonna see 4 or 5 IDs or 6. IDs, we don't use them a lot.
Because it's unique to something.
Yeah, something unique, for instance, the wrapper. We're gonna come to that very soon. The wrapper that wraps your website is unique. You have to give it something, okay? And if something very unique you want to target by itself, but most of the time is the classes and the parent-child relationship, parent-child. Now you have to know your structure, because if you understand this concept, an element is nested between within an element, so it becomes its child. So to target it, go say, I want the UL, go to UL and get me the LI. It's just tags, you tag them. The tags, what's the HTML, what it does basically, like this is the basic explanation, it just describes the document, it describes it. It says, this is an HL, this is a heading, this is a div, this is a paragraph. It's just descriptions.
Yes.
And through those tags, you manipulate the DOM, the document. You manipulate it. It's like someone comes to give a lecture here, say his name is X, Y, Z, and this. And then when he communicates, you're tagged. He knows you. I know you. Oh, this is Ibrahim, right there. Then you react. It's exactly the documents is an element. I said like it's a tree. You have to understand this concept of parent-child. For instance, we want to target this one. Or we want to target, this one, go deeper. If you understand this, this is going to be a piece of cake. It looks like complicated. What a terror this. The body, where is this element? You just always take the element and forget about other elements. So we have this table. Where is this table? Is in the body. So the parent of the table is the body. Okay, we know that. And this body and this one, what's the relationship to this one to this one? Is the child. And this one to this one?
Child.
And this one to this one?
Grandchild.
No, it's a descendant. So if you want to target this, what do you want to say? Without a class or anything?
Ah, without class?
Yeah. So if you want to target this, so let's locate it first. Here. Table. Okay. So where is this one? This one, where is this? It's this one right here, right? This one, item name, this one. You want to target this and we want to make it, I don't know, black or do something. Change the size or change the font or something. It's very minimal, like, in comparison to the entire document.
There's many ways you can target that. You can either give it an ID or give it a class.
I don't want to give it a class. I want to just clutter a lot of IDs and
You
sprinkles.
say, I want to go to table, go to the child TR, go to the child, the set.
Okay, let's do it step by step. We want to go to where?
You're gonna go to
To
TR.
Table?
Table.
Mhm. Okay. Table,
No, TR.
what is the TR first? TR.
Table.
Huh?
You do it in the head?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
CSS.
that's what the style is.
This is styling in CSS. Yeah. Elements, unlike IDs and classes, an element, you just put the element without a dot or hash, because a table is an element.
Yeah.
Each one tag, you want to style it, you come here and say each one. A paragraph, you want to style it, come and say paragraph. All the HTML elements, just bring them to CSS document and start. They're elements. The browser understand that they're part of the DOM.
So you go table and then you go to the.
So we have table, and within the table, what do we have?
Parents. TH.
A TR. Within the table, there's a TR is a table row.
Table row, yeah.
So we have a table. Go to the table, go to the row, and then go to the TH, and then get it out of there.
Oh, so then you do your declaration.
But it's gonna take here. It's not specific. If we do here, it's gonna target the all three. Remember, because this is a TH too,
That's true.
and this is a TH. So here comes the nth, that kind of nth child of.
Wow.
Okay.
So you go to display.
So if we go here display and then say none, and then you command S, well, let's see. They're gone. Same here. You can just get the element real quick and give it whatever styling you want, or you can manipulate, with the developing speech and stuff. Yeah, it's, and here like you give it like a color. Color red or something like that. Yeah, red. Okay. Crimson. Command S. Okay. See? This is how it comes, like when you have a customer, he says, you know, you're gonna go here and go there, and I want this to be here and here. It doesn't know what involves a kind of code. You have to figure out how to do that. It's easy for him to describe. I want here to do this, and when you do this, I want this to fly and come back and make a U-turn. You gotta figure out how to do what he says. He puts it in like layman language. He puts it just plain English. I want this to look here and there. You have to translate that into kind of programming language, how to target that. But if you understand the concept of the DOM, you can just like. So again, we want to target only one. We don't want these two. We want this to be like a green. We want only this. No IDs and no CS. With the ID, it's very easy. With the ID, like if you want to target it, yeah, you can do this too.
Yeah.
You're gonna clutter your code, and a lot of people do this. Trust me. On the
ID.
develop here, you just go stick an ID and give it a class there, and we're good to go.
So it's better to do it this way that you just have.
Yeah,
Just go to
this
the
is the
element,
most
okay.
where
Yeah,
you
this-
do it professional. On your code is
Yeah.
clean. This one is H2 within this,
No.
so we place it with the same level. So what is this in relation to this?
They're just two elements.
They're siblings.
Yeah, siblings.
They're brothers or sisters. In the programming is their siblings.
So,
They are within the same level. Okay. This one and they are next to each other. But this one, no. This one is the child of this. This one is, and this one are siblings. But both of them are children of what? The body.
okay.
The body is the father of everything,
Yes.
or HTML. Like just to, most of the time is body. HTML is the. So let's go back here. So how would you do this? How would you target this? I know it's a little advanced. It's just to tease you a little.
Yeah.
It's how I mean, just to understand with it, like just go step by step and try to apply. With this TS, and we're gonna do the nth.
Oh.
Child.
so-
Yeah, I told you this. Just
Yeah.
remember that nth child.
Even.
No,
Oh, no.
we're not
yeah.
targeting that.
No, okay.
Nth child one, the first one.
First one. Oh, okay.
TH.
Yeah. And let's see what's gonna happen here. Command S. What color are we gonna give it first? Like give it like green. Okay, Control S. There we go. Oh, it's green. See?
Oh,
You don't need any classes or anything. It's clean.
Yeah.
You do it. Yeah, but sometimes people, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
wrap your head about this nth child first
Yeah.
parentheses. It's kind of complicated. They avoid that. They just go ID. Here is the simple way that you should be doing now. We're gonna go to the table here. Where is that? There's not a lot of real estate here. So. Ah, right here. Item 1. Easiest one.
Class.
Class. Easy way. Okay. So we're gonna do here. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna do what is called that one.
Oh, camel.
Camel casing. Just remember, a camel has this
Yeah,
boss.
boss, okay.
So you do a camel casing. Don't do space. If you do space, it's never gonna work. So we're gonna take our friend here, Command C, and we're gonna go up. So that's the easy way, and we're gonna take all this gibberish here, and we Command V, and then we're gonna put here.
You're gonna
It's a
put
class.
there
What are we gonna put?
dot.
Dot. Dot.
A dot, right? Class.
Yeah.
When you take it to CSS,
Yeah.
you identify.
Yeah.
You tell the browser this is a class.
So what actually?
Easy way.
Yeah.
And we're going to take this one. Here, it shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Then you command, save. Nothing is going to change. It's the same, right? Here. This is the easy way to do it. But with the nth child, I didn't put any class in my HTML code.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's not like bad or something. But if you have like a 500 classes just added that is gonna affect the load time of your website
But
because you
see-
signed the browser.
You still need to copy paste your class name of every element that you need to modify to style. Give it a style.
Because here, you know, the table, because here, like, let me just give you, where is that?
Table all the way.
I put the one on the bottom. Where's that THR? Kind of lost here. Yeah, well, table.
أنا بقى تحت.
Yeah.
List.
Yeah. Right here, yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine you're gonna add easy way to all these things if you want to style them.
Yeah. So how
Huh?
do you do it?
Look how it's gonna look. Like you want to style this way. Command S and now Command C, and then you put it. You know the class, you put it within the first tag, right?
Yeah.
Within the first tag. Command V. Command V. You see how the code looks already is a mess there, huh?
Yeah.
And this adds to the latency of the uploading time. You know, but you can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
What
Some
is
people,
the efficient way to do it?
the one I told you now,
Just,
nth child.
End child. So if I want to do end child on two first heading, you do end 1, comma 2.
No,
If you want to do it to the item name is item
no,
quantity.
do a rule by itself.
Oh, by itself. Okay,
Nth
then
child second. Right, just go back here. And nth child غير أقل عليها كويس. You have to just learn it that way. Nth child, and you put it within the item you want to target. You want to target this. What is this? Is a th. You say I want a th. The first nth child, which this is an you attach it. I want nth child that's first, that's last, or that's you assign a number. Okay, so we said like you're gonna go to the table, and then go to the row, and you'll find a th, and I want.
And
You know, just translate it into plain English. I want well, this time we're going to do a different styling. I want this to be green background. I want this white, and I want this green. You know, like a zebra kind of styling. How we do that? Oh, let's finish this row. I want the nth child, like nth dash then child. Here we're not gonna do one. If you do one, you're targeting just one. We want to do kind of zebra kind of styling. You're gonna say I want to go to every odd element. I want you to go to every odd, because in a thing you have, it starts with odd, even, odd, even, odd, even,
So it's
odd,
1
even,
and 3.
anything. Okay, yeah, 1 and 3. I want you to go to any odd and give it a background color. A background color of this green and the color of white.
antique white.
Antique white. Antique. Thank you. And then white. Where it is, this element. Because we're pointing here. What is here? Here is within the table. Write the table first. Because if you want to go to the room, you're going to go through the door.
You have to
Okay.
select what you want to
Yeah.
style.
Write table. That's what we did. And then we tell the browser, and this again, within the table, this is within a row. Okay, write the row. And then write the element, and then stick the nth child odd, go to every odd element and give it these styles. Command S, and nothing is going to happen. There we go.
You know, you can do the same thing.
See?
For table
With
columns.
no class, nothing. It's just you you communicate in a sense that in a way that the browser.
You just remove the th, so we won't target table head only. They want to do the entire column of item name all the way down and item price. All the
You
way
want to
down.
target these elements here?
Yeah,
Yes.
all of them.
Yeah, you can target these elements. Here is what you do. What is this?
It's a column.
No, what is this? This is a cell. So that's
Oh.
it.
No, I wanna style the whole column. Item name, laptop, desktop, table, and chairs. One time.
Yeah, you can do that.
So that's not that simple as removing th.
You know,
Unless if
look-
you have to do more than one declaration, then you don't have time.